Right, okay. Welcome those of you that have tuned in. Sorry we're a little bit late. There's a few technical issues and Nadeem's had to have a fiddle with his Wi-Fi to try and get it to work. So today we're for Facebook Q&A. We've invited Nadeem and your brother. You're wearing masks because you're working, aren't you? You're working doing your rehabilitation. That's right, isn't it?
So let me, shall I introduce?
By all means, introduce yourself, yeah.
Yeah, this is Nadeem Shehzad. We are running a Raptor rehabilitation organization in New Delhi, India. And we basically focus on raptors plus water birds. There's some discrimination in India about the birds, what their diets are. So we are having exclusive facility for what they call non-vegetarian birds. So we have all sorts of non-vegetarian birds with us, including raptors and water birds.
Yeah.
So we have a very small facility right in our house. And actually we are very limited staff we have. And right now, let me introduce you to Muhammad Saud. He's my real brother, and he's working with us.
Hi. Good afternoon. So this is your brother, is it, Nadeem?
Yes, it's my brother.
So you both started this together, didn't you? How long ago was it? How long ago was it you started this?
Yes, I think around we started around in 2003.
2003, brilliant. And it was, I mean, it's quite something because, like Nadeem said, this is all done in your house, isn't it? And you've just taken it upon yourselves to start rehabilitating in 2003, rehabilitating. But well, what we know as birds of prey in India, obviously non-vegetarian birds. And what species make up the bulk of your work then?
Basically, we have this. Most of the cases are of black kites. About 90% of them are black kites.
Yeah.
And we got some barn owls also.
Yeah.
And there's a sparrowhawk called shikra. We got few of them, and sometimes we get eagles also, like crested serpent eagle, booted eagle, short-toed snake eagle, and some Egyptian vultures. We have Egyptian vultures remaining. Other vultures are not seen in Delhi, but they are in different parts of India. But 90% of the population has been declined. Sorry, 99% of the population has been declined. Only 1% is surviving right now.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
We get some water birds. We get egrets, water hens, herons, and we have those stone curlews and lapwings and all. Sometimes we get pancake stork also, storks, and we even got the pelican.
Right.
And crane sometimes, flamingos. Very rare.
So you do, so yeah.
Hornbill.
Okay.
We take hornbills also. They have a mixed diet, food and meat, so we get hornbills also.
So it's how many on average then? Because I just want to cover the sort of background. It's quite interesting. You and your brother. Originally you didn't have a veterinarian background, did you? What were you doing before you went into wildlife rehabilitation?
You mean about this different wildlife related or professional?
So yeah, professionally, have I got it right? Were you selling bathroom stuff, things for bathrooms and stuff like that beforehand?
Yeah, we manufacture liquid soap dispensers. And we also manufacture some bathroom fitting, some accessories. And we also have this fountain nozzles of the fountains. You must have seen those decorative fountains in pools. And we also manufacture the nozzles of. Let me introduce to another employee of ours.
Okay.
Khalid Rahman, and he is working with us for 3 years, I think.
Brilliant.
He is right now here.
Hi.
Hi there. Welcome on Raptor Aid. How are you enjoying and how are you finding the Raptor rehabilitation work then for free? You've been doing that for 3 years.
It's a very good experience in your life. It's a nice experience.
Good.
Working together.
Keep up the good work. That's brilliant. Well done. Keep up the good work. Nadeem, so are you, Nadeem? The reason I was asking you about your bathroom fitting, because I just wanted to get across to people that a large part of what you do has been supported, by your external work. So your bathroom stuff is you put not just time and energy into the rehabilitation, but you're having to fund a lot of it yourself through your other enterprises. That's right, isn't it?
Say again.
A lot of the work that you're doing with the wildlife rehabilitation, you've had to self-fund, haven't you, through your other enterprises and through the bathrooms and the soap dispensers. I think it's quite important to get across to people that how much you've sacrificed and put into it yourself.
It's been a funded thing, and for a long period of time we utilize our own funds from our own pocket. But for the past few years, we are getting support from and we're getting some donations, so it's very helpful for us. And for the last few years, the business is not going good. There's a slowdown in business in India also. Is one of the factors. And luckily, we get some funds, so we are still running.
So you're becoming ever increasingly dependent on donations and support from people, externally. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, financial condition of ours is that we cannot run it from our own pocket. The business is really, really bad.
Yeah. I just think it's important for people to realize, because obviously I followed you for a while now, and I understand a bit about the background. I think it's important for people tuning into this to realize that yourself and your brother you're doing this yourself. Really, you're not a big organization that's got government support or thousands of pounds. You're running this out of your house, off your own pocket, but you're doing a fantastic job, because essentially how many species would you how many individual birds would you say you're rescuing and rehabilitating a year annually?
We are keeping a count of them, and it's about 18,500 right now, more than 18,500.
That's in total, is it?
Yes, the total number.
So
you can take it from the 2010 mainly.
Right.
Before 2010, there was not so much of the rescue work. Mm-hmm. And post 2010, we can just say in last 10 years, it's 18,000 birds.
So you're looking at roughly sort of around 2,000 birds a year.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, which is and of course you're based in Old Delhi. That's right, isn't it?
No, we have shifted to a suburb part of North Delhi.
Right. Okay.
In North Delhi, not in Old Delhi. Our old house in Old Delhi, and it was a very small house, so we didn't have much space. So we built our house on the plot we own, and here this is the office of ours. It is used as a treatment room and office for our organization as well as for our business. And the rooftop is where the enclosures are, where we keep the birds. And we keep those the small baby birds around in this office. So it's back up as our nursery. And keep some critical patients here. So it's our ICU also, you can say that.
Brilliant. Yeah. So in terms of, let's just cover then, obviously black kites are like you say, 90% of the work you do. Just explain to people what the main injury, what's the because there's a specific thing that you come across a lot, isn't there? With your
there's maybe equals much chick of a black kite. Right now there's a baby season going on.
Okay.
This small, this has been fed and is for sleeping. Just let him sleep.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of cut wound birds when we get this, and some of them are have fractures also, because the thread is so sharp that it sometimes slices off the bone.
Right.
And the cut is very clean, sharp. It looks like that some surgeon actually has cut the wing. So it's not kind of lacerations, it's a kind of clean
cut.
Cut. Yes, very clean and very neat and clean cut.
So the young black kite that you've just showed us there, that's fallen out of a nest, has it?
Yes, and we will get see more in the season also. This mainly we get the juveniles. You can call them the branchers, which are out to learn how to fly or explore the world around, and they fall off and ended up with us. And sometimes they should be left where they are, but people do not understand that. They just pick the bird and drop it at a bird hospital or a rescue center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. We have the same thing here in the UK. People often baby birds that have just fledged need to be left where they are, but people will pick them up thinking they're helping them, and then obviously it puts a strain on rehabilitation centres. So yeah, we have a similar thing over here. In terms of one of the things that I think you're quite well known for is your sort of pioneering work in many respects in India of fixing lacerations. Do you want to just talk a little bit about the work you've done and where the injuries come from to black kites especially?
Yes, as I told you, the thread of the kite, paper kite flying is very sharp. It is coated with the powdered glass, so it's very sharp when it is properly have tension in the string. And whenever a flying bird collides with it, it got those nice cuts, not lacerations, but very clean, nice cuts.
Right. Okay.
So when the bird is cut, it's the damage is done, and let me compare our arm with the wing of a bird.
Yeah.
So we have similar type of bones and similar type of muscles we have. So, but the birds have a special another kind of this called long tendon of patagium.
So
it is called TPLT. So I think Saud will be able to explain it better. And let me just he's just doing a bandage right now. So
no. I can explain to people, so those people that are sort of half understanding it, because it confuses people, because we're talking about birds, which as in black kites, but the main thing that's injuring them is actually paper kites, and the strings that the paper kites are flown with are coated with glass, aren't they? Powdered glass. And am I right? The idea is that people would battle their paper kites and try and cut each other's strings with their glass coated strings, but unfortunately the string is left up in trees, and birds of prey like black kites will fly into it, and that's what's cutting and damaging their wings. That's essentially it, isn't it?
Yes, the thing is that even when the thread is stuck in the branches and it's hanging, and sometimes the birds, they fly in and they get entangled in the string.
Yeah.
So they are hanging on the tree, and sometimes they are not seen by anyone, and they ultimately starve to death.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the thread entangle in their neck, so they are strangulated.
Yeah.
It depends at what situation they are in.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of cases. I think 4 or 5 of these calls daily we receive, but we forward them to the fire department, as they have they are doing a very good job of rescuing birds which are entangled in the thread.
Oh, brilliant! Yes, yeah. Because I think I remember talking to you before about how you get the birds sometimes down, and I think last time we spoke, you said it's sometimes quite difficult. It's sometimes impossible to be able to reach some of the birds. Is that right?
Yes, and we have this very small, very narrow lanes in India, and in Delhi, some parts are very congested, and the vehicle of the fire department couldn't enter the places. So that time, the fire department people, they call us, and we go to assist them, and we have some poles made up of those pelment pipes used in the house to hang the curtains. So we just assemble them and make around 30 feet long makeshift long pole, and we use it to pull the bird out of the thread. But it has to be done very carefully, because sometimes people, they pull the bird and the string which is stuck on their wing, they just break the bones of the wings.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
And very carefully. Just we have to break the branch or the string, and we should not pull the bird.
Yeah.
So it has to be done very carefully.
Yeah, absolutely. And just talking about, because obviously here in the UK, I mean, when we talk about paper kite flying, it's something you maybe do as a kid, but in India, it's quite a big part of your culture in certain ways, isn't it? So, that at certain times of year, certain festivals, there's hundreds or thousands of kites being flown. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very old tradition, and the people, they have two. Mainly, we have two kite flying festivals. One is in January, it's 14th, 15th of January, where all over India you can see the kite flying. But in Delhi, we have this kite flying festival on 15th of August, when we have this Independence Day, and that is only specifically for Delhi. The rest of the India, they do not fly kites in August. They fly kites in December and January. So in Delhi, we have this kite flying in August, but the kite flying is a year-round thing. So you can, like in April, you will see kite flying every time of the year. Mainly, it also depends on the school holidays.
Okay.
Mainly the children who are flying kites, and when in weekends we have more kite flying as compared to weekdays, and some summer break or winter break whenever we have. But the summer is too hot sometimes that the people do not fly kites. It's too hot to be out in the sun to fly kites.
Yeah.
So at the our very hot time of the year, like May and June, we have very little kite flying.
Right. But nevertheless, people obviously still lose the kite strings, and they get left up in trees and tangled up in things for the birds to get tangled in, and that's all year round, isn't it? That effect.
Yeah, the string. There are two types of strings. One is the cotton one, which is a traditional Indian kite flying thread. Cotton string coated with glass. And recently we had this nylon thread, which was imported from China.
Yeah.
But they are now locally being manufactured in India, which is commonly known as Chinese thread. It's a nylon thread, and it is also coated with powdered glass, and sometimes used to be coated with powdered metal. Right. So that was a very dangerous thread.
Yeah.
Because it is strong nylon, so it is really difficult to break. And if that thread is hanging from a tree, it is remain there even after many days. The cotton one, it degrades over the time, like sunlight and rain and all. But this nylon thread, it doesn't go anywhere. It is there, and it is very fresh and very strong. And when the bird got entangled in that, that is really difficult. Otherwise, like the large birds like kite, they used to sometimes break the cotton thread and free themselves, and they can fly off. But in the nylon thread, it is not possible, even for a large bird to break free.
Break free, yeah. So obviously, once they get tangled on, going back to what you were talking about with the wings. So it's a certain. I understand what you're talking about. It's a certain part of the wing, isn't it? Sort of the patagium tendon, which.
Yes. So when you see a bird wing, the shape of the front part of it, it's make some kind of very aeronautically friendly. The shape of that wing is mainly because of there's a tendon, and it is right in front of the bird.
Yeah.
So whenever when the thread hit the bird, the very first thing which is severed is that tendon. Yeah. Along with the skin. So bird actually Saud was asking, so let me just, he is finished with the dressing and all, and right now it's in anesthesia, so it's been recovering from anesthesia.
Yeah.
You can see there's a pin.
Yeah.
So this was some bone implant. It had a fracture. Implant.
So that bird there is under anaesthesia at the moment, and Saud has been working on it, and there's bone fracture in it, so the pin's in there to fix the bone as well.
Yes, it's been actually he's changing his dressing and all.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. I didn't think we'd get a live bird on the thing. That's brilliant. And so that bird's been treated, and you changing the dressing. What are your sort of, obviously it's very dependent on the severity of the injury. How successful are you at repairing these particular tendons and getting the birds flying again?
We first decide which bird need surgery, with what we can possibly be able to repair. Yeah. Like some cases are beyond repair.
Yeah.
So first of all, we have to select which bird we should invest our time with. So the cases which are beyond repair, we do not attempt their surgery.
Yeah.
And the ones which we attempt, it's about more than 80% success rate. Between 70 and 80%, we'll say that.
Wow. So sorry, that was more than 80% success rate and getting birds.
Let's say around 80%.
And that's to get them flying again, and you're releasing them and they fly off absolutely fine.
The recovery of those successful rate is perfect. Like
Brilliant.
It's not like the bird is limping or doing something not able to.
Yeah.
So when the bird is up to 90% of its capability to fly, like the movement, we can just have an idea by the movement of the wing when the bird is leg free. So you can say that the success rate, it depends. We call it a successful case when the bird is able to fly perfectly.
Yeah.
If not able to fly perfectly, it's not a successful.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And all the tendons are we repair a lot of tendons, and it is some of the veterinarians, they are very surprised at how the tendons are recovered. Most of the cases, the veterinarians are not that much hopeful for the tendons. They say that if the tendon is severed, then it's next to impossible to fix them.
Yeah,
but
of course,
very good results. Very good results.
Yeah, you've been invited over to because you're so successful at it. Again, you've been invited over to America, haven't you, before now to deliver, talks at conferences based on the work that you're doing. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, we have been to an NWRA conference in 2018, and we presented our work, and we made the video of the birds which we were released, which were recovered from those injuries. And the people there, we told them that you are the best judge. You see the flight, see the movement of the wing, and just you can decide how successful the work is.
Yeah.
We get a lot of praises actually. So the Saud is free now, and so he can just explain the part.
Yeah.
We have some birds, but so we have two cases. We have two cases of today which need surgery, and they are right with us. So we keep the birds in the boxes.
Yeah.
And this is a black kite.
Yeah.
This is an old wound.
Yeah.
It needs dried, and it needs surgery.
First, we have to refresh the wound. We will remove the dead tissues from the muscles and the skin. Then we will try the surgery.
Mainly, it needs to be refreshed. The wound is being dried, so all tissues which are already dried and that has to be removed first. And when the wound is fresh after removing all those dead tissues and all, then the sutures will be able to set in on the fresh tissues. So there's another bird. These are today's case. We collected in the morning.
Yeah. So these birds arrived to you this morning?
Yes, we go and collect birds from other hospitals. You can see that
it has this is the tendon which Nadeem was talking about.
So
Yeah.
there's a tendon is also severed.
Okay.
The one I was talking about, the long tendon.
The long tendon. It's
That's all like, yeah, that's all.
Mhm. This is the long tendon. What do I say?
Yes, you see this part.
This
Yeah.
part.
This is the long tendon, which
From
gives the
shoulder to wrist.
So from this point, it starts this tendon and end up. This is a shoulder joint, and this is the elbow joint.
Wrist. Yeah.
Not elbow. It's the
Wrist joint.
the wrist joint.
Yes, elbow is
carpal joint.
Yes, elbow is here.
Yeah.
This is the shoulder, and this is the wrist joint, the carpal joint. So this tendon goes from wrist to shoulder. So
Yeah.
shoulder to wrist. So this is severed on the right wing. So it needs to be fixed, and
it is it got multiple muscle cut. This is EMR. It's
there's a muscle which helps in spreading the wing. Like the wing has to be like
it's
has
like
to be spread.
this it has cut and pronator profundus and pronator superficialis. These muscles.
So you can see that the hand Saud is moving. So you can have an idea. These muscles have been severed. So you cannot move your hand like this. So
yeah. So the bird is. Yeah, the bird's unable to open its wing, basically.
Yes,
the bird will
you can just
not be able to move its wing like this. And this EMR, this muscle, which help the wing to spread like this. I'm using this muscle. It is EMR, this muscle, and it is pronator profundus. It's this muscle. I am moving my hand like this.
Yeah.
So it is old case. It's around 2-3 days old. So we have to refresh the muscles. Then we have to suture the muscle, then the skin, and the tendons.
And reattach everything.
It will take around a month to recover and take flight.
Basically, the bandage is on for 15 days to 20 days. And when the bandage is removed, it takes about 8 to 10 days for the bird to fly off from our center, from the enclosure. It takes some time to get used to the new repaired wing.
So how long, just going back to the actual surgery, how long usually does the surgery take on those two birds? So you obviously anesthetize them and then start the procedure. How long normally does that take?
It takes about an hour for one surgery.
An hour for one.
90 minutes.
And then
it's 60 to 90 minutes.
And then the birds are bandaged, and the bandages are left on for two weeks,
2 weeks.
to
Yes.
20
2
days.
2 weeks.
And then
20 days it will, 15 to 20 days it takes for the bandage.
And around 10 to 15 days it need to use its new wing, new repaired wing. It needs around 10 to 15 days to control its new wing, new repaired wing. So it needs around 1 month to 40 days from surgery to release.
So that's at that point the birds are up on the roof in the aviaries, and that gives them the ability to start using their wings, the repaired wing again. Is that right?
Yes, they practice flying. So
Yeah.
we do not help them in any way apart from when we remove the bandage. We let them do their own physiotherapy kind of thing, or we do not intervene in that. We just left them there in the enclosure, and they slowly start developing control over the new, and they keep on gaining some strength also, because for 20 days their wing was not moving, so they need little bit of time for their muscles to gain strength and get back to normal. And moreover, when some parts you have naturally and it is cut, severed, and you just fix it, so the overall structure of that part will be a little different from the original.
Yeah.
So when they when the bandage is removed, they will be feeling something different in their wing. So when they start flying, they have to learn the adjustment they have to make for their flying to be near perfect. So I haven't never have experience on myself this kind of surgery, but I'm very sure that it must be something which they feel different, and they have to learn something out of it.
But like you say, obviously the proof is in them when the birds fly off and they're not lopsided, and you know they're strong flyers. Then you know that the operation has worked. And I know from working with black kites and yellow-billed kites in captivity, what incredible flyers they are. They're amazingly aerodynamic. So yeah, the work that you're doing is just, it's wonderful. It's absolutely fantastic. So what we'll have to do, Nadeem, all being well, we'll have to get you'll have to send me an update on them two birds now, because I'll have people asking me. They'll want to know in a month's time how those two birds that we've just seen are doing. So
I can do one thing. I can go upstairs in the enclosure, and we can discuss the bird which are on different phases of recovery. We have bird recovering on the enclosure.
Yeah, okay, we could do. Yeah, I've got plenty of time. So yeah, that'd be great if you want to show us some birds that are being.
Oh yes, sir. So we will be going upstairs, and let me see if by chance if this line got disconnect, you can connect it again.
Yeah, if it gets disconnected, I'll try and send you another link to this meeting, and we can try and connect it again. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, that's
okay. Just let me have let me show you the place around. This is our workshop where we manufacture those bathroom fittings and all.
For the bathroom fittings, yeah.
Yes, this is our workshop factory, whatever you can see that. And right now, because of the COVID-19 lockdown, we have to display this kind of on-duty wildlife services.
Brilliant, yeah.
So our vehicle is not stopped by police. So
yes,
the curfew kind of lockdown we have in India. Nobody is allowed to step outside their houses, only just to buy food and essential things.
Yeah.
So if you are seen outside, you can even be arrested. So we have to take some precautions for it.
Yeah, you have. So you have to have special permission to be out. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just taking you upstairs.
So someone's just asked a question regarding the kite string. Are there any efforts by the government or anyone to stop the persecution? It's not persecution directly, but is there any way to stop what's going on?
Hello, are you getting
yep.
my?
Yeah,
so
we've
this
got
is
you back. Hope the internet might go a bit quicker here. We'll.
This is our main enclosure.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can see this section of the roof is open, always open.
Yeah.
So a bird which is flying can go out.
Okay,
and
so
they can come in also like at the time of.
So if they want to come and go, then they can.
Juveniles, when they go out, yes, they can go and they can come back also. Like the juveniles, when they need food, they come back and have their meals here.
Brilliant.
These are those Egyptian vultures, the white ones.
Yeah.
And we can go inside this. So there are different some.
Yeah, we're struggling with the internet connection, Nadeem, so we can't really hear anything you're saying.
Okay, so थोड़ा सा उसको मॉडम को ऊपर कर दे। So ऊपर करके रख दो मॉडम को ऊपर कनेक्शन कर दो। मॉडम को ऊपर रख दो। So you are getting my. So you were getting the video of the enclosure, which I.
Yeah, we got little bits of it. We saw the birds in the enclosure, and we definitely got an idea of yeah what you're using for them once they've been operated on.
What we can do that we have to change some dressings, so we can remove the old dressing and you can have an idea of that how well the recovery is going on or what it lacks.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah.
So just let me just arrange for those.
Nadeem, we can't hear, the audio's gone off. I thought this was going to be a fun one to do. Nadeem, we can't hear you. The audio's off. Maybe you meant to turn it off. I don't know.
I think okay. So I mistakenly pressed the mute.
No, that's all right. Don't worry, we've got you back.
That's why no audio was. Okay, I think the problem is fixed now. So
yeah, we've got you back. So just to ask, the kites that are in that aviary, how many of them are juveniles, and roughly how many of them you've operated on?
say again.
I was just asking, in the aviaries there, roughly how many of the birds are juveniles, and how many of them have you operated on?
Okay, just let me. Okay, just yeah. That's why net bhi nahi chal raha yaar. Are you getting the?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not very good at all, Nadeem, so it just keeps freezing and we're not really hearing anything. Just bear with us and we'll see if we can get Nadeem back.
Oh yes, you are there. I thought that we are disconnected.
No, it's just the Wi-Fi is not very good, so it keeps dropping in and out.
Yes, yes. So we have some of the juveniles like this one, and we even have some old cases like this. So this is a surgery case, and we have marked on the bandage that it is having. The surgery was done on 9th of April.
Yeah.
And it is this long tendon and this EMR muscle has been severed and been fixed.
Yeah.
And the bandage has to be, final bandage, I think it needs to be removed now. So
Okay.
we will remove the bandage and see that it need another bandage or it has to be, the bandage has to be removed. So
yeah.
We have some cases which are very old with us, even for few years old, which are, they just don't want to leave.
Yeah, right, okay. They
sometimes if they are in good mood, they go out, they fly, and then they come back. So this is their home. And we have some old cases also. The one which have cataract in their eye, and because of the cataract, they cannot fly. There are two kites with us, and that is black-eared kite. It's a migratory one, which comes from the steppes of Russia, Mongolia, Pakistan, all these places. And they came here, they developed a cataract, and they cannot fly back. So they spend winters here and summers up in north. And let me show you the one which we... इसको पकड़ ले यारी ना एक तो यारी हाँ पकड़ लेना इसको.
So I asked before, Nadeem, I don't know if you could, whether you could hear me. How many of these birds are juveniles, and how many of them have you operated on and fixed?
Okay, this is the one. It has cataract in the eye.
Okay, yeah.
And this is the one, the migratory one. It needs to go back in summers, but for 2-3 years it is with us because it cannot do those. Cataract surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about the juveniles and the surgery one. We have कितने juvenile होंगे भी? Right now it's about 20 juveniles in this enclosure.
Yeah.
And surgery cases, I think, is how many surgery cases? 5 or 6 surgery cases which are recovering right now.
Yeah.
And 2 are downstairs which need to be surgery. And Right now, someone just handed over sparrow, baby sparrow.
Oh, so yeah, you get brought all sorts. Yeah.
Yes, somebody knocked on our door and handed over to us.
Brought you a baby sparrow. Yeah. What in terms of when you can't, if you can't fix a bird and it's unable to fly, what's your policy? Do you euthanize them, or what you do?
Some cases are really bad and like multiple fractures, one which are already been, the bones has been shattered and they are in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So that needs to be kept. And but the wild birds, they are not. We are not allowed to euthanize them.
Right. Okay.
So
and that's part of your culture, isn't it?
That the government department doesn't allow us to euthanize those.
Right. Okay. So you have to look after them then indefinitely.
Yes, most of the cases they just die because of the stress and overall blood loss. Because of the cut wounds, we have massive blood loss, and that is the one of the number one cause of their death.
Yeah.
Also, the gangrene, when there's no blood supply and all the part is just decaying, so it also causes septicemia and bird die of septic.
Yeah, so the only thing you can do is just make them comfortable in the situation, and yeah,
give them some fluids and painkillers and antibiotics. So as long as they are with us, they are comfortable.
Yeah. So I had no idea you weren't allowed to euthanize them. I didn't realize that. What's the reason behind? Is there any reason behind that from the government? Why are you not allowed to euthanize them?
There is no provision in the law.
Right.
But there's this kind of confusion kind of thing, because there's one government body which is called Animal Welfare Board of India.
Yeah.
Which is an advisory body on animal welfare and animal matters in India. And they have issued a notification and asking all the organizations to euthanize animals which are in suffering or which don't have any kind of hope for their recovery.
Yeah.
So they have advised non-government organizations and to animal shelters and all to euthanize. But on the contrast, the other wildlife bodies which do not support this. So it's a kind of confusion, and we have to talk to them about this kind of, which we have planned after this. And we'll see that what we can do, because we want that the birds which are suffering and which don't have any hope or any future to fly, then they should be euthanized.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah. Well, understand that. Brilliant. Well, it's brilliant work you're doing out there. That's for sure. I'm sure you've got lots to get on with, so I don't want to keep you for much longer because we've done nearly an hour. So I'm happy to let you go and carry on with your work, Nadeem, if you want.
We are just changing a bandage, so removing a bandage, and want to show you that how the going of the bone.
Brilliant. That'd be great.
Downstairs, and I'm just going downstairs.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going back into the surgery, are we?
Yes, I'm back in the office. So there's a bird which needs a bandage change. The surgery was done on 8th of April.
Yeah.
We're just removing the bandage and seeing that how it's been, the wound is, how the wound is right now.
Yeah. Nadeem,
So what we do is yes, please.
Someone's just asked a question about the kite strings being illegal in India and whether there's any way that it can be enforced or because people have also been killed by the string. Is there any way it can be enforced, or is it an impossible task?
The string was banned in 2017, especially the nylon one. Even the local manufacturing has been banned. Import is also banned.
Yeah.
So some states have banned all kind of sharp string, including the cotton one and the nylon one. And some state has only banned the nylon one. So it's a mix ban, and the enforcement part of it is very, very weak.
Very weak.
The police has power to enforce that ban, but they are not that effective.
Yeah.
You can find those nylon thread on the stores when they do not keep it in open, but if they trust you, they can supply you.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, recently, a few months back, there was a police raid in there's a biggest kite market in Old Delhi.
Yeah.
And some shops were closed and sealed because of they were found selling those thread. So they also right now they are actually sealed by the magistrate. So the case is underway.
So some places are being closed. Yeah.
So just cleaning the wound with the betadine.
iodine solution.
Iodine solution.
Yeah, iodine solution, just cleaning the wound. Yeah.
EMR has been joined and TPLT I think
you can see that the cut was from
here
this
to
point
here.
to this point.
Right, yeah.
Large cut.
From this point to this point.
Yeah.
And it is this EMR extensor metacarpal radialis muscle.
Yeah.
And it was severed, and this pronator profundus was cut, and this TPLT. I think the tendon has not recovered. It's
the tendon has not been able to stitch back. But,
Okay.
the bird will be able to fly because all the rest of the muscles are joined properly.
Repaired, yeah.
And it will take around 10 days more, or it's working back.
So it will require 10 days to practice its new wing, and it will gradually learn how to fly. And it doesn't need a more bandage. It's not required for it. So it will go for practicing flying, and ultimately it will be able to fly from that opening I showed you.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. So there you go. What it's it just to show it does work, and then obviously, yeah, that bird goes back into that aviary, and the roof's open, so it can come and go, and eventually leave, and become a wild kite again.
Yes, especially that opening is good for juveniles when they learn how to fly, and sometimes they learn how to find food, so they can go out, and when they are unable to find food, they can come back and eat at that place, and they can go out on a search for next day.
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant. And
so this one is the surgery was done on 5th of April.
The 5th, yeah.
EPLT and EMR muscle. These are the very first muscle and tendon which gets severed by the thread. Just because of the shape of the wing is such that whenever the kite flying thread enters the body, it enters from this point also only.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very rare to see cut on a different part of the body, apart from this AGM and TPLT and EMR. Sometimes they go the muscle, which is called bicep muscle. It also gets severed. And in very rare cases, you can have those tricep muscle, which is just on the opposite side of the bicep.
Yeah.
It's all depend upon the kite, how it's flying, and where the thread is, and what maneuver bird did. Because at the very last moment, when they are very near to the thread, they detect it, and they maneuver to avoid it.
Yeah.
So at the very last moment, they try to save themselves, and some of them get lucky, and some of them they don't.
Yeah, of course. What so what's the chances of other wildlife rescues working with you, or do you work alongside other wildlife rescues in the area, or are you pretty much solely the only people focusing on this?
The question is that wildlife rescue. Please repeat your question, and we'll get it.
Yeah, are there any other wildlife rescues that you work alongside, or are you the only ones that are carrying out this work?
As far as I have seen, that only one other organization in whole of India is doing this kind of surgery.
Yeah.
So mainly it's in Delhi, at least we are the only one who are having this kind of surgeries, doing this kind of surgeries. And in India, there's another one. So two organizations doing this kind of surgery in the whole of India, as far as I know. So there's a lot of work which we have to do just to spread the word that how to repair this kind of wound, because they are in such a large number all over India. So the kite flying is all over India. And places like Pakistan and Bangladesh we have, because we all have the same kind of culture. So we have kite flying in these countries also.
Right, okay. And so it's a big area.
So we there's a lot of things which has to be done, because the rest of the bird hospitals, what they do, they just either suture the skin only. They do not join the muscles and tendons. Sometimes they do suture the skin and they wait for the bird to fly, which they obviously don't, because the muscles are not joined. And or some hospitals, they just bandage the wound. They do not suture anything at all.
Right. Yeah. So there's no way the bird's ever going to fly.
Yes, they do not fly. So a lot of organizations claim that they do suturing or surgeries, but they are limited to skin. So there is no way that the bird is flying at all. So sometimes the wound is the damage is so little that if they are not doing any kind of proper suturing, the bird manages to fly. but they won't be able to fly perfectly, just limping,
Yeah.
a limp kind of fly.
Yeah, short distances. Yeah, absolutely. So, what is there any way? One of the questions I'm sure I'll get asked by people is that there's any way people can support you, donations or anything like that. What is there, or follow you? You've got a Facebook page, haven't you? I'll share that.
Yes, right. We are in the process of getting approval from the government, because if an organization needs some funding from foreign, they have to get one approval from the government. So we are in middle of it, and we have already submitted our application in the month of February. So I think it's 1 or 2 months more until we are getting the approval or denied the approval. So within 2 months, we are able to tell you that if someone wants to donate, then how can they donate to us?
Yeah, you can accept donations from abroad. Well, I'll definitely keep in touch with you anyway, Nadeem, and Raptor Aid will happily work alongside you in trying to get some donations to support the work you're doing, because it's brilliant. It's really, really good. Right, I'm gonna I'll leave you in peace, because we've done a good solid hour, I think, of talking about it. I really appreciate you showing us behind the scenes of the work you're doing. So yeah, thank you very much. I'll end the live video, and then we can have a chat. But thank you very much. Pass on my thanks to your brother as well, and your staff. That was really, really good, really interesting to see. Thank you very much.